All right, let's look at the homework 6.1, problem number 9. All right, so let's find the area of the region bounded by the following curves. All right, so the area is going to be, right, so it looks like, x is going from -1 to +1, so that part is pretty clear. So you have an integral from -1 to +1, right? We have to be a little bit careful here. X squared minus 1 is going to be actually negative if x is between -1 and +1. So this graph is below the x-axis. So it's going to be, top curve is going to be actually this guy. So this is the top curve. This one is actually the bottom curve. Right, if I can spell that. All right, so it's going to be 0 minus x squared minus 1 e to the x. So I'm going to actually write it as, let's see, distribute the negative sign. So I'm going to write it as a 1 minus x squared, right, which is the same thing as minus x squared minus 1 e to the x, right, dx. All right. So let's evaluate this. We're going to use the integration by parts. So we take the derivative of the first guy, you get negative 2x. Right? Antiderivative e to the x is e to the x, which is nice. So this is going to be equal to, multiply these times, you have negative 1 minus x squared times e to the x. Then you're going from -1 to +1. Minus, right, so it's a negative sign here, so it's going to be plus here. Integral from -1 to +1, 2x e to the x with respect to x. All right, so then if you plug it in, and you notice that if you plug in a +1 or -1, this is going to be actually 0. So this whole thing actually drops out, so it's just 0. Then we take the integration by parts again. So derivative of 2x is 2. Antiderivative e to the x is e to the x. So what you get is a 2x times e to the x. You're going to have 2x e to the x. Then you're going from -1 to +1. Minus, multiply this y, so it's going to be an integral. -1 to +1, 2 times e to the x dx. Right? So this is going to be equal to, plugging 1 here, so you have a 2e minus plugging -1 here, so it's a -2, so it's -2 e to the -1, right, minus, right, antiderivative 2 e to the x is 2 e to the x, and we're going from -1 to +1, right? So this is going to be, right, 2e plus 2e to the -1 minus plugging 2e, right, minus 2e to the -x. Oh, sorry, -1 I meant. Right? So in this case, 2e minus 2e cancel out. So you have a 2e to the -1 plus another 1. So it's going to be 4 e to the -1, or if you want, we can write it as a 4 over e, right? So let's type it in. So we got 4 over e, right? Check the answer. All right, it came back and looks like we got this one correctly. All right, that's it. I hope that this was clear.